In Arizona, the state's Democratic governor facing backlash after vetoing a bill to block the Chinese government from owning land in the state.
Arizona is home to a number of military bases, such as Luke Air Force Base, home to a number of fighter squadrons, including the primary training center for the F-35 stealth fighter jet.
Our next guest ran for governor of Arizona, special advisor to the U.S. Agency for Global Media. Kari Lake is here to react. Kari, it's so great to have you on the program. I'm just scratching my head trying to figure out why this governor would veto a bill like this. I'm going to read you what she said. She said, I vetoed Senate Bill 1109. Improvements to systems that protect our infrastructure are important. However, this legislation is effective at counter-espionage and does not directly protect our military assets. Additionally, it lacks clear implementation criteria and opens the door to arbitrary enforcement. As my co-host here, Brian, says, gobbledygook, we don't know what that means. Why did she veto this bill?
Well, I have my suspicions about her, but this was just regular old common sense piece of legislation. It was a no-brainer from the legislature. You know, it would have prohibited Chinese land purchases near, as you mentioned, military bases and other important areas in Arizona. And like so many other pieces of legislation, it landed on her desk and it was immediately vetoed. I've always believed that we should take every square inch of U.S. farmland back from China.
Amen.
And not even leave them with a single blade of grass. But I think she's being disingenuous, Rachel, because this bill, it went through a bipartisan amendment process, like all of them do, where if she wanted to influence it and influence the outcome of it, she could have. That's called leadership. But she doesn't give a damn that Arizona could be compromised under her watch. And that's been the case very often with her. So, by the way, it wasn't just about military bases. There's also strategic assets mentioned in this legislation, including the new Taiwanese semiconductor factories in Phoenix. We've got the biggest nuclear power plant, the Palo Verde nuclear power plant here, all areas that would have catastrophic implications if infiltrated by the CCP.
Yeah, Kari, it's not just, it could be espionage, but it could be agroterrorism. We've done stories this week about Chinese grad students bringing fungus into the United States that could wipe out crops. The governor vetoed this. I would think the legislature, because it's bipartisan, could override her veto. Do you expect that to happen here and send a message that they're serious about it, even if she's not?
I don't know. I don't know if we could muster up enough Democrat votes. I mean, and I don't want to get, Democrat, Republican. Right now, my thoughts are you're either pro-America and for America, or you're working against our national security interests. And I'm not sure they could muster up enough Democrat votes to do that, unfortunately.
So real quick, what has been the reaction among voters in Arizona to her veto of this bill?
Well, you have to remember, we've been through a couple of years of living hell with her as sitting in the governor's office. Everything that she's done has been disastrous. She has misspent money. They don't know where hundreds of millions of dollars is. And it's put us in a budget issue as well. So she has not been a good leader of the state. So I don't think that people are surprised by this. But what is surprising is how it could put our whole country at risk. This is national security. We're talking about our number one adversary in the CCP. We can't have the Communist Chinese Party owning land near Luke Air Force Base where we train our fighter jets. We've got farmland that, as you mentioned, would be of immense interest to America's adversaries. And it would just put our whole country at risk. But again, this is somebody who's been for open borders, doesn't want to follow along with what President Trump is doing, which is putting our country first. So it's been just a lot of bad leadership for the people of Arizona.
Kari, she didn't give a damn when there was an 800% increase in Chinese nationals, mostly military-age men, coming through that Arizona border and our southern border overall. So not surprising, as you said, but definitely scary and not good for the beautiful state of Arizona or for our country. Kari Lake, happy to have you on this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.